Scottie, do you buy Draymond saying this beef is squashed?
No, I didn't really like how he came out with it. He said, me and Kevin spoke. I think it's a little deeper than just speaking to Kevin Durant on your way into practice. I think they have to sit down and talk and work this out and make sure that they can continue to work together, to be in the same locker room together, to be able to communicate on the basketball court. Something positive has to come out of this before they go on the basketball court, because the way that they left things, it doesn't seem like that just speaking to your teammate walking into practice is going to be the final words for this.
Yeah, the tough part is, and Marcus Thompson for The Athletic wrote a really detailed behind-the-scenes thing. And the big takeaway, there's a lot of great stuff in there, but the big takeaway was, this wasn't like, oh, it happened at the Clipper game and that's why, and they had a spat and that's it. This was something that had been building and little pokes and jabs over weeks. And we just happened to see the final explosion before our very eyes. But there's a lot at work here. There's, in terms of them fixing things, it goes deeper than we disagreed about what happened at the end of the game.
Exactly.
It goes to Draymond's got, rightfully so, contract on the mind. You know, in terms of he's got to make certain types of benchmarks to be eligible for a Supermax. I guess it's going to be 2 years from now, right? KD obviously has contract on mind, because is he going to stay? Is he going to go? And part of that Marcus Thompson piece was frustration with Draymond that KD didn't really dismiss all that talk by just saying, hey, guys, I'm not talking about it. He's kind of done the LeBron flirt and tease and all that, and then, Draymond doesn't like that. And so there's a lot of kind of, I don't call it animosity, right? Well, it's not the best team in the league, and they're going to win the championship, right? Unless somebody punches someone else, they're gonna win it. Which could happen.
As we saw on some of Scottie's teams, even that you can still win a championship after people punch each other in the face in practice. Continue.
But what happened? When did that happen to?
I'm lost.
I can remember. Maybe Steve Kerr. Anyway, Michael Jordan, go ahead.
But the point being is, it's about. What we're talking about is are they going to win 3 more championships or whatever the length of this dynasty?
Well, one of the things that Draymond seemed to be upset with was not just the flirting, Kevin Durant, you haven't just put this to bed, you haven't committed the way the rest of us kind of had to saying we want to be here long term. And again, Marcus's article was great explaining all of that. Yeah. But when you read the different accounts of what was said, even in that heat of the moment, Scottie, it seemed like Draymond was partly also taking issue with, hey, don't clap at me and yell at me on the court. I won a championship before you got here. Yeah. I've done stuff too. Do you understand that side of it?
Well, I totally understand that side. And Draymond has been successful many times rebounding the ball, pushing it up in transition, and making plays for him. So he's allowed that mistake, and he's allowed that mistake numerous amount of times. I think everything sort of got caught out of character, because Draymond didn't leave it on the floor. Right. He took it to the bench. And I've been in that situation. And the adrenaline is running, and guys are talking and speaking and saying things that they really don't mean. And I think that's what happened in this situation.
That's really interesting.
I think that's why you're going to see them get over this. This is something as a bump in the road, something that can push them to play better, because they're basically bored. I mean, they're waiting on the NBA Finals, and this is a situation that's just going to get them pretty much focused and get them on track.
I wanted to get your take on this as well, because yesterday we talked about Andre Iguodala's comments to our old friend Ethan Strauss, and Ethan was talking about, hey, can the Warriors really win with KD and Draymond at odds like this? Andre responded, hey, well, Shaq and Kobe didn't like each other, and the response was, okay, but that broke up the Lakers. And so Iggy says, quote, everything comes to an end. You played on one of the great dynasties in NBA history, and like with the Shaq Kobe Lakers, and like people are worried about right now with the Warriors, it's not a team on the outside that might beat you. Utah didn't send you home after that 98 championship.
Scottie, go ahead, man.
Well, I'm going to go back to the beginning of your question, because I didn't like Dennis Rodman. I didn't like Dennis when he came to the team. Michael didn't like him, but we existed on the basketball court because we respected what Dennis did on the court.
That's interesting.
And we knew the value that he brought to the game for us. But in this situation where you're talking about your teammates, and that's out of character for players. Like, we, as a team, we bond, we lock hands, and No one is allowed in that circle.
But you had a situation where management came in the last season. You guys hadn't even played your '98 season yet, and said, "Yeah, Phil Jackson, this is your last year." Again, it's not some other team that broke up the Bulls.
No.
It was internal Bulls politics, right?
It was internal, and as a player, we knew that this was coming. I mean, for pretty much the whole '90s. Our championship run was built on what the players wanted. We went against management numerous amount of times, but when it came to play and we got in between the lines, we played for each other. We played for the city of Chicago, and I think this is one of those situations where the players are got to look beyond any situation, and this is not one of them situations where they can look ahead because they have to work out their own internal affairs. And right now, this could cost them a championship. If KD don't feel comfortable playing with Draymond, who do you walk away from?
Right.
The funny thing is, so you said you didn't like Dennis, but you respected what he did on the floor.
Loved it.
I think Draymond's frustration is born out of, there's a level of, I don't think Kevin Durant respects what Draymond is about, or at least didn't in that moment, right? Because in the moment, he's saying, hey, man, give me the ball. And like Rachel said, Draymond reacted as if to say, don't talk to me like I'm Andre Robertson or one of those guys in Oklahoma City that you left who all they do is give you the ball and get out the way.
Right.
I'm an all-NBA player. I'm the leading playmaker. That's one of the things he said. Yeah. We've been doing this for 4 or 5 years here with a lot of success, with or without you.